Good day, everyone. Now we are going to discuss about strategic management and strategic competitiveness. Our learning objectives in this discussion will be the following. First is we are going to define strategic competitiveness, strategy, competitive advantage, above average returns, and the strategic management process. We are going to describe the competitive landscape and explain how globalization and technological changes shape it. We are going to also use the industrial organization or IO model to explain how firms can earn above average returns. Fourth objective would be to use the resource-based model to explain how firms can earn above average returns. The fifth would be to describe vision and mission and discuss their value. Sixth objective would be to define stakeholders and describe their ability to influence organizations. Seventh, describe the work of strategic leaders. Eight, explain the strategic management process. Now, in the 21st century competition, or today's competitive markets, is described or can be described in terms of the existence of the global economy, globalization, rapid technological change, and increasing importance of knowledge and people. Now, how do we understand competitive advantage? In any organization, there will always be formulation and implementation of a super value creating strategy, which can be realized through the commitments and actions to achieve above average performance and returns. And this can only be made possible if the firms can identify what they will do and what the firms will not do. So they may be able to achieve competitive advantage. The strategic management process includes three major steps, which are the following: analysis, strategy, and performance. In the global competitive landscape, we can see an increase of market volatility and instability due to the rapid pace of change in markets. There's also an increase in blurring of market boundaries, globalized flow of financial capital, need for flexibility, speed, innovation, and integration in the use of technology. There's also an increase of strategic and operational complexity of global scale competition. Rising product quality standards is also evident in this global competitive landscape. While there's a decrease of traditional time for adapting to change, there's also a decrease on the traditional sources of competitive advantage, traditional managerial mindset. We can actually see in this present environment that there is what we call hyper-competition. There is competition all around us. Strategic options in hyper-competitive environments includes global economy and that of technology. And this could actually be expressed in the use of price quality positioning to build market presence, creation of new know-how and use of first mover advantage, as well as the protection or invasion of established geographic or product markets. Competitive success factors. What are the factors that make top corporate performers successful? These are the following. They have an entrepreneurial, opportunistic mindset. They are market customer needs oriented. They make effective use of valuable competencies and offer new and innovative products and services. These success factors make these top corporate performers successful. Let's move on to technology and technological changes. Technology trends impacting the global competitive environment can be illustrated by the increasing rate of technology diffusion and emergence of disruptive technologies. There is this information age in the presence of internet and the global proliferation of low-cost computing power. There's also increasing knowledge intensity as an intangible source of competitive advantage. Strategic flexibility. Strategic flexibility involves coping with the uncertainty and risk of hyper-competitive environments. Must first overcome built-up organizational inertia, requires developing the capacity for continuous learning and applying the new and updated skills, sets, and competencies to the firm's competitive advantage. Now, firms have to make strategic choices. And these are the firm's strategic choices. You can make use of what we call the economies of scale, barriers to market entry, diversification, product differentiation, industry concentration, market frictions. They can make use also what we call the industry organization or IO model of above average returns, which includes 5 steps. First one is to study the external environment, especially the industry environment. Second is to locate an industry with high potential for above average returns. Identify the strategy called for by the attractive industry to earn above average returns. Develop or acquire assets and skills needed to implement the strategy. And the 5th step is to use the firm's strengths, its develop or acquired assets and skills to implement the strategy. The IO model assumptions are the following. The external environment imposes pressures and constraints that determine strategic choices. Similarity in strategically relevant resources causes competitors to pursue similar strategies. Resource differences among competitors are short-lived due to resource mobility across firms, and strategic decision makers are rational and engaged in profit-maximizing behaviors. We have here the 5 forces model of competition. It includes industry rivalry, potential entrants, the suppliers, substitutes, and buyers. All these 5 forces affect each other. Now, we have here the 5 forces model assumptions. There is this industry profitability. For example, the rate of return on invested capital relative to cost of capital is a function of interactions among the 5 forces. Industry attractiveness equates to its profitability potential for earning above average returns by producing standardized goods or services at costs below competitor costs, or what we call a cost leadership strategy. Producing differentiated goods or services for which customers are willing to pay a price premium, a differentiation strategy. The resource-based model of above average returns aims at building competitive advantage, focusing on the resources such as the physical, human, and organizational capital, whether it be tangible or intangible, as well as the capability, which is an integrated set of resources, and core competence, which is a source of competitive advantage. Resource-based model assumptions are the following. Firms acquire different resources. Firms develop unique capabilities based on how they combine and use resources. Resources and certain capabilities are not highly mobile across firms. Differences in resources and capabilities are the basis of competitive advantage and a firm's performance rather than its industry's structural characteristics. Resources as core competencies. How resources become core competencies? When firms offer or deliver products or services which are rare, costly to imitate, valuable, and non-substitutable. The resource-based model of above average returns, as what has been mentioned previously, there are 5 steps. Strategic decision making. For a firm to be competitive, it has to make competitive strategy decision. The firm can choose to make use of industry organization or IO model or that of the resource-based model. The vision statement. A successful vision is an enduring word picture of what the firm wants to be and expects to achieve in the future. It stretches and challenges its people, reflects the firm's values and inspirations, is most effective when its development includes all stakeholders, recognizes the firm's internal and external competitive environments, and is supported by upper management decisions and actions. The mission statement, however, is that An effective mission specifies the present business or businesses in which the firm intends to compete and customers it intends to serve, has a more concrete, near-term focus on current product markets and customers than the firm's vision. So be inspiring and relevant to all stakeholders. What do you mean by stakeholders? These are people or institutions that are actually affected by the strategic outcomes achieved by the firm. They can affect development of the firm's vision and mission. They can have enforceable claims on the firm's performance. They are influential in control of critical or valued resources. These primary stakeholders would be individuals, groups, and organizations. Here are different classification of stakeholders or categories of stakeholders. You have capital market stakeholders, product market stakeholders, and the organizational stakeholders. Stakeholders are people who are affected by a firm's performance and have claims on its performance. Under the capital market stakeholders, that includes shareholders, major suppliers of capital such as banks. Under product market stakeholders, you have primary customers, suppliers, host communities, and unions. Organization stakeholders, however, includes employees, managers, and non-managers. Capital market stakeholders. There is conflicting expectations of shareholders and lenders. It could be in terms of influence, preservation of investment, risk or return, or enhanced wealth. Product market stakeholders. These are types of product market stakeholders: suppliers, customers, host communities, or unions. Organization stakeholders. Responsibilities of strategic leaders for development and effective use of the firm's human capital. They have to make sure that education skills of employees are being looked upon. Organization's culture and ethical work environment is being promoted. The strategic goals and global standards are met, and there is international assignments. The work of effective strategic leaders are the following. They have a strong strategic orientation that relies on thorough analysis when taking actions. They are located at various levels throughout the firm, want the firm and its people to accomplish more, are innovative thinkers who promote